Many gurus and personal development coaches and trainers talk about this whole idea of understanding your reason why in life. And I feel like they say this without any real explanation. They say this without any sort of one-liners that really give me context in terms of why I need to do that in the first place. And so sometimes it leaves me a bit strucken. And I admit to you, although there is definitely a reason for being in my life, sometimes I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all. Because it can feel like too much pressure. Like, what's your reason why? Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know. I know, but do I know? I mean, they talk about the 5 different whys and breaking it down and all this kind of stuff there. And sometimes some people are not wired to answer it the way it's supposed to be answered, so to speak. And so, of course, that is based on the quality of the person asking the questions and also the person answering the questions. But that's not the point. What I'm trying to do in this video is at least give you some steer in terms of understanding your sense of purpose, a reason why for doing what you're called to do. And so I'm going to borrow some stuff from different people. So first person I'm going to borrow it from is Myles Munroe. Myles Munroe is a fantastic speaker who influenced so many different minds out there. And, you know, the late Myles Munroe, I feel like is underrated. I feel like he really should be at the forefront of a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today. And he has this great lecture where he talks about really understanding your sense of purpose, which I think relates very nicely into your reason why. And he breaks it down like this. He says there are 5 different questions that every single person is trying to understand. If it's not for themselves, it's for other people. And here's the first question. Who am I? Like, who am I? What does that actually mean? That's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, when we think about who we are, we start saying what we do. It's like when you go to a networking function and someone says, oh, what do you do? Well, the clue's in the question, what? You are sort of like identifying yourself with what it is that you do day to day. And really, to answer that question requires discovery, okay? Requires you to be still, to journal, to speak to different people, to understand, reflect and review on your experiences. But quite simply, my understanding, at least anyway, is that who you are is a collection of your identities and who you tell yourself you are. That's who you are. You are a brother. You are a father. You are a person who is interested in certain things, etc., etc. You are all these different things. Can you be one thing? Who knows? I mean, that's a very existential, philosophical question. But I do know that we identify ourselves with different stuff. And whether that's the right thing or not, that at least gives us a head start in terms of identifying who we are as individuals. The second thing he says we need to ask ourselves is, where are we from? Where are we actually from? Now, we could say in what context, okay? Are we saying, are we birthed from our mothers and fathers? Are we saying we're from some alien, species? Are we saying we're divine creations of God and we're souls here on this earth? Are we saying something else? Are we merely talking about our context and our background, our genetic line, our culture? Okay. All of these things, all of these answers, if answered seriously, at least gives you more clarity, and they may impose more questions or gives you that sense of primal curiosity. However, these are great questions to ask because it gets you closer to a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning and reason why for doing what you're doing. So start answering yourself these questions, even if it's as basic as, what's my history? What's my background? I mean, some people do these genetic, tests. I've done one. And it's quite interesting what it reveals because you start finding all these second cousins and seventh cousins and all these kind of stuff there. But it starts to paint a story. So start learning about where you are from, whether that's from a metaphysical, spiritual, existential, or historical or cultural context. The third question is, why am I here? Like, why are you here? What are you called to do? Now, this is a difficult one because, again, you can go down the whole spiritual, existential line of things, okay, and say destiny brought you here. But you have to believe that. You have to believe that. And so what you say to yourself in terms of why you are here stems from your beliefs, what you were told and what you're filtering in your mind. Why are you here? You need to understand what that reason is. And once you understand that reason, once you give yourself that reason, then you're in a space of motivation. You're in a space of drive. You're in a space of being in a locus of control. Now, for the religious out there, for some religions, whether they're monotheistic or polytheistic, they may say it's God or gods, okay? For me, it'd be God. And so with that in mind, that's the reason why I'm here. So that ties me to a sense of purpose and meaning. Now, with that in mind, as a custodian of God and all things around that, I still need to define my local reason in order for me to act day to day. And so you need to understand what that is for you. The third thing is, what can I do? Oof, that's a powerful question. What are your abilities? What are your talents? What skills can you cultivate in order for you to actually really fulfill your potential? You need to explore different stuff. And so you explore these things by following your curiosity, by having many different forms of experiences in order for you to understand, yes, I like this, I don't like this, this is what I'm willing to compromise, this is what I'm going to focus on. What can you do? Do those things. As my friend says all the time, for your highest excitement. Okay? And whether you can do that now or not, thinking and feeling makes it so. And so think about the things that you can do. And the final thing is more futuristic by nature. Where am I going? Where are you going? Do you know where you're going? Like, success leaves clues, or the past leaves clues. Now, you're not defined by your past, but it gives you an idea in terms of where you may be heading. And so you need to have a space and a place to create a direction in life. And that stems from your beliefs. That stems from what you do day to day. That stems from many of the stuff that I've spoken about in previous videos. Be clear about where you are going. Have a sense of that, because that gives you a sense of purpose and direction. Now, that's a really good foundation to go off, in my opinion, at least anyway. And Darren Hardy, in his latest book, Entrepreneurial Rollercoaster, talks about this whole idea of why as well. And he talks about the switch. Okay, there are 4 different switches he identifies. These switches really are the spark to your inspiration and passion and drive towards fulfilling any form of pursuit that you're trying to fulfill. And he talks about the following switches. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? How are you doing it? Who you're doing it for? So, is it that what you do lights you up? Is it that you are doing it for a deeper reason, your why? Is it that you like the way you do it, so how you do it is what lights you up? And is it that you're doing it for a specific person? Or people, should we say? It doesn't really matter which one takes more precedent, as long as you identify with that. So it doesn't put this pressure on this sense of why, okay? It doesn't put that pressure on there. Now, of course, these are all really, really good things that we can utilize. And so I want to bring it back to who is now known, at least to me, as the godfather of the reason why, or knowing your why, Simon Sinek, to link it all together. All these things will help you understand at a deeper level in terms of why you do something. And essentially how I've understood it is that it really comes down to what you believe. People follow you. People are inspired by you. You inspire yourself when you are clear about what you believe as a person. And therefore start with that. Start with your core beliefs. Don't try to, go with the whole processy thing, because the world has said the right brain, if it's the right brain, in terms of logic and theory and everything else, is the right way to go. Science reigns. Of course, these things are important, but measured and backed and balanced by the other side. Intuition, belief, authenticity, genuine authenticity. All these things are important for cultivating a sense of drive, because you understand what pushes you. This sense of your reason why is embedded in how you make decisions. So how you feel and the emotions that you have really define the decisions that you make, really defines your sense of intuition, really embedded by the limbic system. So if you understand your beliefs and your reason why, then you know how you're going to do something, or at least you can move towards that. And then you can start to pick up the process in terms of what you need to do, rather than the other way around where it's process, then how, and then no. If you think about any sort of personal development stuff, they always talk about what is it that you're trying to, why are you doing it? I said what there, but really I meant why. Like, what is your reason for being? Which, in other words, is why are you doing it? Understand that high level stuff, your sense of values, your sense of beliefs. Everything else should trickle down from that. That's when you can start developing processes. And I talk about this in my strategy video as well. So hopefully this gives you an idea and an essence of how you can really get to a sense of meaning and purpose in your life by answering these questions, identifying with some of these different things and understanding the makeup of why it's important to understand your why. So if you want to really get into a space of, really exploring the sense of mastery and high performance, then feel free to click the link in my description in order to access a free webinar that talks about this in a bit more detail. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.